What's really good, my people? Welcome into No Catch Up Chicago, for Chicago, by Chicago. I am your host, Sean Little. Big time guest in the building. Willie Runs, face of Prodigy Artists. Half of the face, anyway. Got the stable of artists. Big Nick the Quick's in the building, like usual. Man, excited to have you in here, Willie Runs. First off, big appreciation. Coming in town for some family stuff. Hopped on an earlier flight so he could join us, chop it up. Showed up with the Pequods.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't even fuck with Pequods.
It was decent, though.
But I had a couple slices.
It's the best pizza on planet Earth.
That's that L.A. talking right there, man. He's been away from that good deep dish for a while, so we might have to put him back on. We might have to re-educate you, man.
Also true.
And we need to take him up north to get some Mexican. He said, L.A. Mexican is crushing Chicago's.
Not a chance.
And he hasn't been on Clark Street in a minute.
Not a chance, yeah.
So we got to get it.
We got to take you back to the spots, man. You're eating at those A-grade restaurants, man. We got to take you to the dingy spots, man, where the lights don't work.
I'm with it.
Yeah, no doubt. Will's going to give us a little rundown. Who is Will Runzel, man? If you guys don't know, IU, Dim Mac, Steve Aoki, Dim Mac.
Yeah.
Started his own shit, had to get out from under that, and now he's running with Prodigy. I mean, Nightmare, Joyride, Benny Main, Slander, Whipped Cream is the new joint.
You got them all.
I got them all. It's all here.
I was like, okay.
Yeah, we're here. Talk to me. Give me a little bit of your story and how it all came about, man.
Yeah. I'll give you like the no catch up version too, because I've been like completely infatuated with sports. You know, you guys have known me for a decade and a half now, and known that about me. You know, I went to college for sports telecommunication. I wanted to be on ESPN. I wanted to do shit like this. You guys are living out my dream, so that's amazing. But yeah, I went to Indiana University. Studied sports telecommunication, talked on the radio show, called some basketball games, football games, ended up studying abroad in Italy, started doing some event stuff there, came back to Indiana. I'm going to give you guys like the super abridged version.
Yeah, for sure.
Started my first company when I was 22. We did concerts with like Big Sean, Currency, Twista, Sammy Adams, Jeremiah, confirmed Drake, and he tore his ACL in 2008 on a stage. So that would have been his first show in the Midwest. So grew up on that hip hop shit 100%. From there, Steve Aoki offered me an internship. I moved out to Los Angeles 5 days later. This was in April 2011. I started as an intern. I had all this knowledge from the previous business, so I ended up being becoming the president of DMAC Live when my internship was up. I booked like Dylan Francis, Dimitri Vegas, like Mike, Zed, RL Grime, Flosstradamus, all these guys.
And this is before they were.
We were 2012.
Right.
Yeah, this is before. I was the first person to bring them to LA with my little shop with Steve Aoki's help, and got hired by React Presents, Chicago company, to head up their West Coast. Booked like Calvin Harris, Alesso, guys like that, Little John, Drake, Nelly, Ty Dolla $ign, all at the Lure in Hollywood. Started managing my first act somewhere around that time. Realized pretty quickly that I couldn't do both. So my buddy Chris now runs my events company. So I put that under my own LLC, kept that going, started the management firm. About 97% of my time is taken with JOYRYDE, Nightmare, Slander, Whipped Cream, Benny, and that's what we got going on today. On the side, I write articles for Billboard, DJ Mag, Control Forever, topics that range from Tentacion to Kodak Black to, you know, dance music at large to 6ix9ine, and
man,
that's
we're about to get to that. I'm excited to talk about this
hip-hop talk. You know, at the same time, I also pretty much read every single article on the Bulls and the Bears and the Chicago Tribune and the Sun-Times and the little blogs that I read. So I feel
and catch-up.
And I watch all the no catch-up things.
On, G.
And
what's the most important one?
Yeah, no, I really liked your guys. Your evaluation of Zach LaVine put me on, like, had a new perspective for me. Yeah. So that was cool. Yeah, Will Runzel, huge no catch-up, Chicago fan. And so, Jabari talking about it, you don't got to play defense. We'll get there.
Yeah,
anyway.
We'll get to all that stuff. But as you can see, the man is well-versed.
Yeah.
I mean, management, booking shows, from nightlife to tour life, the whole thing is all under wrap. I know the biggest in the stable right now is Nightmare.
Yes.
But they're all huge.
I'm very proud of them, yes.
Yeah, and on their way moving up. Talk to me about how they all come together, how they fit. Why have those artists, have you, I guess, wanted to represent them, and why do they catch the ear of the dance music culture, to say?
To be perfectly honest, like when I signed Nightmare and Slander, my ear wasn't really as progressed as it is now. So I'll be the first one to tell you, like, I got lucky.
Yeah.
I signed Slander. Nightmare was their best friend. They brought Nightmare in. We ended up signing him too. And like, little did you know, they'd be like staples on the festival circuit in terms of dance music brands. And when we signed JOYRYDE, that was my favorite music. That was my favorite dance music that I had ever heard before. And, you know,
because of that hip hop element.
Because of the hip hop element, yeah. So he had taken meetings with Calvin Harris's manager, Steve Aoki's manager, Kanye West's manager, everybody. Dexstar, 360, Teamwork, Diplo's manager. And I think he wanted somebody, you know, that he could really work on a day-to-day level with. We're not too big to be reached ever.
But give a little bit, like, this guy JOYRYDE is an interesting individual.
Yeah, he's a savant genius. He's from London.
Yeah.
He's been producing music since he's 9 years old. He started DJing when he's like 12. This is his third iteration of a music project for him. So it's not his first rodeo. He knows how to do everything. He's been, you know, he's performed in front of 70,000 people in 2 completely different brands that he built from scratch now. So
like him hearing Calvin Harris manager that shit didn't do anything for him.
Nah, he knows that he could have Nick managing him and he'd be the biggest artist in the world, no matter what.
Hold on now. What you trying to say?
Yeah.
So
but that's the kind of guy that
cool.
he is.
So yeah, no. So the day that I met him in person for the first time, we had like FaceTimed, emailed, and we came to this Italian restaurant, John and Vinny's. Shout out John and Vinny's. That's my spot.
Yeah.
And he hadn't slept in like 3 days. He was working on this music, and he was like, he hand builds his studio, and he's like a sonic genius. He edits all his videos, he directs all his music videos, writes all his music videos. He's the type of guy where if he doesn't know how to do something, he'll watch a YouTube tutorial of it on halftime or on double time with the captions on. So it's moving twice as fast, and he just reads it, absorbs it, and then like knows how to use Adobe Photoshop or speak Spanish or whatever. What he's done. Like the dude is crazy. So we sat down. He was like super tired but like asking a lot of questions, and you know, his agent told him, look, he just sat down with the most powerful managers in the world. Like, don't tell him what you can do for him. Just tell him what you think of him and whatever. So sat down, told him we loved his project. And, you know, I told him, you know, I grew up on hip hop music. I got Biggie Smalls' Ready to Die given to me when I was in like 3rd grade, you know, and you know, Nas Illmatic's my favorite album of all time, blah, blah, blah. And he has this song called Flow. And I was like, yo, by the way, like, I'm such a huge fan of your music. I can name every single hip hop sample because I'm a hip hop head. And that was why I really dug it, because it was kind of the best, the most tasteful intersection of the two that I had ever heard. And I was like, yo, I know where you got your vocal sample in the song Flow from. And he was like, no, you don't, mate. And I was like, I literally was that 3rd grader watching BET 106 in Park Freestyle Fridays in 3rd grade by myself with my legs crossed Indian style, sitting in front of the TV for an hour.
Shout out AJ and Free.
Well, yeah, like while TRL was on, like, you know, whatever. So I was like, yes, the sample in that song is Cassidy versus Murder Mook. BET Freestyle Fridays 106 in Park from 2004.
Yeah.
And he was like, how the fuck did you know that, mate? And I told him the story about me watching BET every day after school. And he was like, yo, these are the guys, mate. Like, come to my studio tomorrow. And his agent was like, dude, man, give him a day. Like, they're having this conversation in front of us. He's like, give him a day. You can let him know tomorrow. Sleep on it. He's like, I know what I want, mate. See you guys tomorrow at the studio. You just signed JOYRYDE. Congratulations. And he walked off.
So he was looking for more of that genuine feel, right? Not necessarily seduced by the Calvin Harris, like Sean was talking about, things like that. He wanted someone he could relate to that he knew would be into what he's doing.
Yes.
Not just, you know, trying to make a quick buck off of him.
We were the least powerful person he interviewed with by far. But he just knows he's going to change the world with anybody's help.
So are you intimidated knowing that going into a meeting, or is it whatever, man? You know, you believe in your brand, you know what you can offer, you don't care who they've talked to prior to that?
I think I'm better than every single person that I just named that's more powerful than me, and my business partner and my team as well. So, no, I was not scared.
That's how you got to be, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that's how I think you got to be like that always with anything,
for sure,
regardless. And I think it's interesting how throughout your whole journey, hip hop somehow always kind of wiggles its way back into.
I dragged that shit with me.
Yeah, it kind of always wiggles its way back and confirms like what you got going or helps you out to sign it
in my veins, dog.
Yeah, that's super interesting. Joyride, I've only met him once. And and you've met him. You met him a little more than me.
We went out, when I went out to visit Will in LA a couple of years ago, and I think you were still trying to sign him at this point, or you had just signed him. I forget what it was.
Yeah.
And we went out to dinner with him and his girl, and then we went and got ice cream, like super low key, just chilled.
So you got to vibe.
Yeah, but it was the same thing. Will was like, "Yo, this dude's super into hip hop." So I remember we're driving home in Will's car, and we're just playing different shit. Like I'm throwing some shit on the iPad or iPod. He's throwing some shit on the iPod. Like it is what it is.
Right.
But yeah, definitely down to earth dude. Like. Afterwards, Will told me a little bit about him. I'm like, oh, wow, you would never get that impression, right? Just real cool, real humble dude, but knew his shit, seemed real determined. And again, man, like, yeah, just real chill. So
that's what's up.
Yeah.
I know you said that you had Slander, Nightmare just happened to be their best friend. They all came on board and they end up blowing up. What do you think is holding the fans' ear, though? Like, what about their music and what they're doing keeps that connection? Maybe like your ear, you didn't know they were going to be where they are today, but what do you think keeps them where they are right now? Like what keeps them in the festival lineup? What keeps them in Las Vegas and we're not talking about Vegas like bullshit shows. We're talking about Hakkasan. We're talking about Encore Beach. We're talking about XS.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What keeps them in those spots?
I think the original attraction to Nightmare and one of my favorite things about this job is like the ability or the opportunity to shift culture. And I feel like we've done it twice, as like insane as that sounds, but I'll explain myself. Nightmare in 2005, 2015 dropped this record called Street. Kind of sonically changed the face of dance music. Everybody's songs started sounding like that. So he got that reputation for being innovative. Once you kind of you cement your niche or what you're good at, after that it's just about making catchy tunes, right? That aren't corny, that have a little bit of edge to them. He's accomplished that. When it comes to Slander, these guys, whether they're writing the lyrics themselves or working with singer-songwriters, I've seen girls just bawling, crying while singing every word to their song. So it's that emotional connection where people are like, I mean, people have, I don't know, couldn't even tell you how many people have Slander tattoos. People get married. Literally, I get an email before every festival. At least one couple emails me and says, can we get married during Love Again, which is like their big song.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's wild. I mean, I had a kid on stage in San Francisco, like rolling balls on ecstasy, like with his like sweat dripping off his body with his shirt off. He got down on one knee and proposed to his girl right there.
Yeah.
Planned the whole thing out in advance and stuff like that. And, people from the military message us like, yo, your music got me through Afghanistan. Like, will you send us a Slander flag autographed? And then they like take a photo of it with the whole, the 8 guys in their battalion or whatever. So It's just like that emotional connection. And then Joyride is like, he kind of did what Nightmare did, but 2 years later in a different, a houseier hip hop influence aspect of that. And I haven't even really seen anyone like, I've seen people try to duplicate it, but not even come really close. And that's kind of why Joyride has been underground for a little while, because he's like, all right, cool, got to do that again. And that's where he got his street cred. I mean, Swedish House Mafia, Diplo, he's got a song coming out with Skrillex. These guys are all trying to figure out what his sauce is, but he's got a vision.
Diplo got a little clout chaser in him. I like Diplo, and you don't have to comment. I don't want to get you in trouble. I know you're connected out there. I can say that type of shit. I like Diplo, but everything that happens, he's in somebody's comments or commenting on it. No matter what it is, from 6ix9ine to whoever. Diplo got a little clout chaser.
Did you ever see the Viceland show that they made? Pretty much just making fun of him.
No.
Yeah, Viceland had a whole show. Yeah, but he was involved in it. But yeah, they had James Vanderbeek playing Diplo. It was for like a season or two.
It didn't click.
Yeah, and he was just kind of walking around, just kind of being clueless to everything that's going on around him.
He's a funny guy. He's a brilliant music producer, though.
No, his music is fire. I'm not doubting that.
Yeah.
But he somehow is talking to someone about something that just popped off in the news, and if you go to that's just the type of dude he is. And and if you want to stay relevant and do your thing, I get that. And his music is dope. Don't get me wrong, but he somehow wiggles his way into anything that pops up that has nothing to do with dance music or Diplo, and he's always in there. But what you kind of just went through was one of the questions that Nick had, was talking about just how dance music connects with people. It's just a culture thing. Yeah. People feel there's two festivals that I've been to. I've never been to like EDC or anything, but I've been to a festival where the main focus was dance music, and there's just like a togetherness where everyone is kind of like, I don't know, it's like a love thing, I guess.
Peace, love, unity, respect. That's the theme of dance music.
Yeah.
So you don't hear cats going to the hip hop shows going, yo, yo, peace, love, unity, and respect.
Like a Black Eyed Peas show or some shit.
Yeah.
Do you feel that, and obviously that's present in the festivals and everything like that, though, do you feel like even that's becoming commercialized, though? Or do you still feel that that's the genuine feeling among the music?
Nah, because everybody's high as hell, bro. Shit's genuine.
It's hard not to be.
You can't commercialize the serotonin being injected into your brain. You're gonna be happy. You're gonna be smiling and gonna love your brother and your sister.
As more and more of these festivals pop up, though, right? Yeah. You feel that some of these are a little bit cornier than the others, right? In the sense that they're really trying to recreate that vibe because they know that's what people wants to see, as opposed to something that's more genuine, more organic.
You can't create that vibe. You can't manufacture the feeling between humans. You can add more fireballs, add more CO2, add more laser beams. You can't not manufacture that feeling. That feeling's going to be natural, whether or not, you're in a warehouse that's all black with just gigantic speakers, or you're at Lollapalooza at Perry stage and they're shooting fireballs in the air at 30. And it's not all like drug related either. Right. Like there's sober people who also feel that, but that's because that's the theme, and there's no negativity via lyrics, to take away from it. So it's just a very uplifting, positive experience. You listen to a Tentacion song, you might be in a great mood, but it's like,
it's
rage. Man.
It's anger.
Start thinking it might,
or it's sadness, or it's suicide, or
like
whatever,
that.
Which makes people feel too. But that negative, and that maybe it's just like stuff you have to feel, but it doesn't enter dance music as much because it's all just about the beats, at the end of the day.
And that kind of adds to my original question, which I posed to Sean, was just that, the difference with the dance music, I feel, is you guys don't necessarily rely on some of the traditional means of success for music, such as album sales, things like that, right? It doesn't really rely on being on the charts. It doesn't really rely on having these huge singles that you hear on the radio and all the time. It's all about the festivals, the outside stuff. Like, talk a little bit about that.
Well, most of the time, it's not headphone music. It's live music. It's music that you experience, that you feel in that live setting. So it's not going to get 50 million Spotify streams, right. But if every single DJ at every single festival plays it, maybe it has 750,000 Spotify streams. But when that song gets played that everybody knows because they heard it at every festival, and it's the song that everybody knows because it's good and it gives you a lot of energy, then everyone has that reaction. And then that's a hit song with 1 million Spotify plays to it. And yeah, you're not making any money off 1 million Spotify plays, but the person who put out that song, they might be getting 50,000 for their
to go sell out a show, right? Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I love it. Make sure y'all check out Nightmare, all the rest of the Prodigy artists. If you haven't checked them out, they're on all the lineups. Any big festival you're going to see, they're going to be on there. Make sure you go check them out ASAP. We got the Willie Runs music industry. He's deep in it, so we got to ask him some questions. We had a really great conversation before we hopped on over here just about the music industry and entertainment. We're going to get to the XXX article you wrote with Control Forever. It's actually rest in peace X, by the way. But you have a really interesting situation with that because you wrote about him when he was like kind of first coming on. And it was like, yo, pay attention. Like, this dude's coming.
I got heat then too.
Yeah. He's blowing up. Like, y'all better catch up. And we're going to talk about that article. And then you kind of wrote a recap of from the kind of the span in between your first
24
article.
hours after he passed away, that article came out.
Passed away,
the
and then
one?
Yes. the main focus of the original article was, can you support an artist that you don't necessarily, can you support an artist without supporting the artist? Like, can you like his music or his book of music, what he does, his art, and not support him as some of the claims with exes, domestic violence, etc.? Where did you net with that? Talk to a little bit of people about, if they didn't catch the article. I'm going to put it up on the YouTube description so they can check that out too. But where did you net with that, and what were your final thoughts on that? Can you support the artist without supporting that human being?
Well, if you ask someone that question, emotional people will tell you that they can't. But those
Throw this article up for me, Aaron.
Those same people, if you ask them, do you like Dr. Dre? And they go, well, yeah, I love Dr. Dre. And you go, well, you must have forgot that he bodied that female reporter on camera, punched her in the mouth.
He smacked D Barnes.
Smacked her, right? But you forget about that. You know, Michael Jackson probably doing some creepy things with little boys, you know? James Brown completely really, really beat up his wife real bad.
Yeah.
So all those people who are like, oh, man, I can't listen to this guy's music, he's so evil, they probably have 10 artists that they listen to that they're just not realizing that also are awful human beings. And I think that if you censor yourself from these experiences, I'm not going to listen to Tentacion, I'm not going to listen to James Brown, I'm not going to listen to Phil Spector. Phil Spector murdered his wife.
Right.
Okay. One of the greatest songwriters who's ever lived. Right. And how are you going to choose who you're going to be a fan of if you really don't necessarily know? So you got to research every criminal record ever, and then you're censoring yourself. And then it's like, all right, cool, I'm only taking the songwriting and the experiences from the people who are very nice people. You know, what did we learn from, you know, even Malcolm X was a pretty shitty person before he ended up changing the world. You know, this guy was a heroin addict. He was a pimp. You know, Detroit Red was his name. He was a street cat, you know? So it's like, whether or not you change in that.
Quick's face. That is true, though.
Let's leave Brother Malcolm out of this. But I understand what you're saying. No, I'm just giving you a hard time, man. Continue.
That was great. But
you
yeah. No, facts.
Yeah,
I,
sure. I know where you're going from.
Exactly. You don't want to censor yourself to people who had shitty experiences or created bad experiences for other human beings and censor yourself from that music. I think right now there's a lot that we can learn about from Tentacion and mental health and suicide by listening to that album. And so much as the kids, whether or not they want to accept that he's a bad person, he also like touched a lot of souls and created a lot of positivity through his music. You know, maybe in the 70s or 80s or whatever, people were like, man, I was so depressed and I put on that James Brown record.
Felt
and like,
good, yeah.
I'm chilling now. So, you know, and I think from a lyrical standpoint, you have guys like Tentacion who are actually talking about something. James Brown might have just making you feel good in that moment. I don't think you can ever censor yourself to any type of music. I also don't think that you need to buy Tentacion t-shirts. You know? Right. But you could learn from him. Listen to his album one time. You just gave the kid 0.00. You gave him less than 1 penny. Yeah. But you learned from him. You know? Don't tell anybody.
You got to experience
because we're in, you know, millennials, I'm offended by everything. Yeah. But you could at least experience that art. There's no reason to censor yourself from art.
How many people who are making a big deal about it anyways would be the people that would normally listen to that music is what I really want to know. I mean, I feel like a lot of times when you read these XXX articles and things like that, it's written by somebody who I don't think really even listens to hip hop like that to begin with, isn't really a part of the culture and just kind of wants to hop on the issue because it's an issue you can speak on. You know what I mean? I kind of like what you said. I try to get the music out of it. I'm not necessarily looking into the person, because if you start doing that, yeah, you're going to protest every single thing. You're not going to wear Nike because it's made in a sweatshop. You're not going to do this because of that. Yeah. So like you said, man, yeah, you kind of need to take it for what it is.
It's also way too difficult living your life that way. Every time I'm trying to get a ride and the Lyft app is down, and you know, I'm like, because Uber's surging. But that Uber dude is a misogynistic asshole, and you're like, man, fuck it, I'm going to walk to the airport.
Yeah.
You know, no, I'm gonna use the fucking Uber app and get my ass to the airport. You can't live yourself dodging those minefields for your own self-righteousness because no one else gives a fuck. Like,
do you think there's a line though? Is there a line for you that they cannot cross to where you'd be like, okay, I'm definitely. It's not as far as like using an app.
No,
or something
absolutely
like
not.
that,
There's nothing.
because that's part of daily life. But art,
you could murder someone. Shout out TK. You could murder someone. I'm still gonna listen to your music. You know what I mean? I'm still gonna listen to your music. I'm not gonna go to my aunts and uncles and be like, you gotta listen to TK. He's a great guy too. You know, like, yeah, but I'm gonna go experience that. Some 19-year-old kid murders someone and starts talking about it in a rap song. That's some sociopathological weird shit.
He murdered like 3 people.
Know? Yeah, cool. All right, cool. I want to learn about you. Shit, just like I want to learn
It's
about
just
the
a different
Columbine dude.
perspective.
Just like, you know what I mean?
I think where it stops for me is I'm probably not buying like TK merch. I'm probably not going to
You're not gonna get the free TK shirt.
I'm going to listen to it. I
It's
just
about
think
learning.
100%. That's what I was about to say. I think there's always something you can pull out positive or negative and just feel like that dude's pain or feel where he's coming from or those neighborhoods. I think you can always pull something out of that.
100%.
Like if you're telling me this, like a serial killer put out a book before he did his serial killings, right? And then he got arrested. He got put to the you know, he got put to death or lifetime in prison or whatever. You're telling me you're not going to read that dude's book? I'm definitely going to read that dude's book because that's a crazy person. And I want to read what they put on the page. And there's things that we can learn in the future from that, you know?
Well, like you said, we're in an overreaction culture and you can't get caught up in the hype.
Completely.
Any comments on the XXX is the Generation Z's Tupac? Because I believe that. I was on your end on that. It just lined up too perfectly. He impacted tons and tons of people. His music went through the roof after he died. He had a very emotional connection with the young folks like Tupac did, and he died suddenly and early. Like the parallels were so lined up. I'm not going to say he was as talented as Tupac, but to some of these guys he connected in that way, so it's hard not to say he's not as talented to those guys, Generation
He definitely
Zers.
did to the kids. I think anytime, it's just like when you compare someone to Michael Jordan, though. Whenever you bring up some of these names that you can't compare anybody to,
Wait, hold on.
A lot of people's reactions instantly
No. Before you do that, if you want to make the Michael Jordan LBJ comparison, just put it in the context of the title of the article, okay? LeBron James is this generation's Michael Jordan.
100%.
Right.
But it's just once you bring up
I wasn't saying in the article, which a lot of people read it so fast and just reacted, that Tentacion is Tupac. No, that's not what it is. And I saw that in the divide on the comments. The article went viral, thousands of comments on it. Everybody over the age of 23, 22, 23, 24 was like, whoever wrote this article is a fucking moron. Everyone under the age of 22 was like, man, wow. I'll never forget this guy. Before I wrote the article, we're like, yeah, I resonated because I'm going to listen to 17 in 10 years. And I personally listened to 17
It's a good album.
in 10
Good
years.
album, yeah.
You know, and you had kids camping out at the place that he died for 3 weeks. There was a riot in the streets of Los Angeles. The guys from South Florida. They had a riot on Melrose. The guys
from South Florida, there was a riot in LA.
In LA.
Yeah.
Tupac
Right.
didn't have a riot when he passed away.
Right.
So there was obviously this emotional connection, and you talk, you know, he's got songs that are just really nasty and vile. So the old folks, like I like to call old folks anyone over 24 years old,
Yeah.
the old heads were like, this guy, he does all this bullshit and blah, blah, blah. Well, don't forget, Tupac, most likely wrongfully accused, but did 9 months in prison for, you know, running a train on a girl in a hotel room who said that she didn't want to be there. And he went to prison for that. You know, Tentacion, his case got dropped. They did make it very clear that it got dropped because he was deceased. But I'll tell you one insider thing that kind of brought a tear to my eye. I was in a whipped cream we just signed to United Talent Agency. Shout out Caroline, very proud of you. Yeah. But before that, we took meetings with Paradigm, William Morris, CAA, blah, blah, blah. And I won't say which one of those, but one of those agencies was going to bring on Tentacion when everything kind of settled down, was going to be their agent. One of the people that also wanted to sign Whipped Cream. And he told me that, and this was, we had the interview 3 days after he died, and he told me that the girl was never pregnant. He was countersuing her for libel and basically an extortion. Excuse me, like she was extorting him. Yeah. And then, if you read her quotes after he died, she was basically like the most torn up person, like out of everything.
Dude, she changed her Instagram name to Liar. That is her Instagram name. I follow her. Her Instagram name is Liar.
Right.
After he died, she changed her Instagram name to Liar.
Wow.
And I'm not saying one thing or another, but you can look it up. Look up Liar on Instagram. That's her.
Yeah.
Very strange.
Real strange. But look, when you wrote that article, right, specifically that headline, you knew it was going to be provocative, right?
Okay, I wrote the headline. Then they changed the headline when it come out to Generation XXX, and I was like, nah, change that shit back. Yeah. I know what I'm doing.
But you knew it was going to grab attention,
And they changed it
right?
back. Yeah, the headline that I...
And you knew it was going to stroke that
you see the link?
conversation.
It says, like, Generation XXX on the... That's what it was originally called. And I was like, before you post it anywhere, change that shit back, trust me. Of course. And the editor was like, no, people are going to be upset about that. And I was like...
That's the point, though, right? You want a reaction.
Exactly.
How many people probably commented, how many people probably commented before, didn't even read the article, just saw the headline and were like, oh, fuck this.
85%.
I don't care what you have to say.
85% of people easily.
Right.
I mean, Willie's Instagram caption when he posted the picture with the link in his bio was, please read this. Please read till the end before commenting. Like, that was all he said.
Of course, that's not going to happen, though. People see that, they're like, oh, hell no, this dude's crazy. Yeah.
So let's switch over because the conversation we had before we hopped on was great. Let's talk about 6ix9ine.
I would love to.
You said you were thinking about or could potentially still be coming out with an article about 6ix9ine. Give me your thoughts. He knows how to get people's attention. He knows exactly what he's doing. Give me your thoughts on him.
How about this?
His music.
Go
ahead.
I'll tell you what my article was going to be, and then I'll tell you why I stopped writing it. All right, because it'll put everything into perspective. So I was going to write an article somewhere along the hypothesis or byline of 6ix9ine is a marketing genius and his music is amazing, right? So I started researching all the marketing stunts that he pulls between, beef
Flying
with
to
Trippie
Chicago.
Red, beef with Chief Keef, going down to O Block with the ops with him.
Allegedly.
He was there.
We know he was there. When was
all
he
the
there?
Chicago boys on my timeline that we know from that
there.
area.
No, that's O Block.
I saw him. I saw him on my personal Facebook.
When was he there?
At 3 o'clock in the morning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He
Anyway.
was there, though.
He was there. No, that's a real picture of O Block. Yeah, that's Parkway.
Anyway, so I was writing all these things and him going on live and then it was Vic Mensa 3 days before his new single Metaphysical comes out and he's like, man, I'll beat 6ix9ine ass if he comes. And then the song comes out the next day and he was like, nah, man, I'll beat him in Street Fighter. Like, shut the fuck up, Vic. Like,
Vic was just he backpedaled on it.
Yeah.
Right, but it was a marketing stunt. Yeah. So not only is 6ix9ine such a marketing genius that he's making his songs bigger than everyone else's songs, cats are piggybacking off his marketability, and now part of my album rollout is, all right, man, how are we going to stir up 6ix9ine? That's clout all the way. So anyway, I started detailing all these incidences, and then 6ix9ine got his ass whooped and his chain taken in Brooklyn in front of his house.
In his house.
Right? And then got
the chains back.
Then
nothing ever came back. He never got any of his shit back.
Chains,
he went and he bought some new ones.
Right. In his own city.
So then there's the story. Some of these stories are like from people who were there, not like things I read on the internet. Then for his showcase, this is actually before that. Then in his showcase in Austin for South by Southwest, Jay Prince Jr. goes on stage during when 6ix9ine is about to perform, and they all got Uzis in their belts. Everybody's strapped up, and he didn't show up to his thing. And then he posted a video, which he had taken 4 hours earlier on 6th Street, being like, y'all know about 6th Street, right?
Yeah.
Inside joke, folks.
Yeah.
And then they all ran out into the streets. 25 dudes with strapped up, and there was like 6 or 7 cops on horses, and they did nothing. And they went up and down 6th Street looking for 6ix9ine, right? So you can't.
Jay Prince is a real actual character in this situation,
right?
Like, don't fuck with Jay Prince. Everybody knows that.
So here comes why I stopped writing the article. is I was writing the article about these marketing genius moves, but you can't be considered a genius if you almost died twice, maybe 3 times, and you could get shot to death any minute. So if you're a marketing genius, but you put your life on the line, I mean, you're not a genius to me anymore. I could go up to Jay Prince right now and go on my Instagram, pull a strap on him at the concert and be like, put it on the internet, be like, yo, I got a strap on Jay Prince right now. What's up, man?
It'll blow up, right?
Right. They'll be like, Will Runzel have 500,000 Instagram followers by tomorrow, and then I'll be like, and my mixtape drops on Monday. But that doesn't make me a genius. Yeah. So I wrote all that, and then I was like, wait, no. He's a troll with no fear. And so the article might get augmented to be like, this guy will do anything to be famous. So hopefully that's where the article will go. It's so hard to champion the guy in any sort of way, shape, or form when you experience him every day on social media, which I do.
You can champion him when every song he drops
and
has
I like
10 million YouTube views. And
I like his music. His music is amazing. I'm sorry to say.
I don't think at any point he wasn't not a troll. I mean, he's always been a troll to me.
Always.
I mean, yeah, it was good marketing in the sense that people were always talking about him every day, but you're right. It was stupid shit. It was anything to be famous. It was kind of just like whatever. But he backed off real quick after he got robbed. He was on Instagram yesterday.
He
backpedaled
he's
for
on
a little
Instagram
bit.
yesterday.
Talking YG.
Oh, YG a bitch. YG.
That's fine.
Okay, but YG of full blown blood. So
yeah, YG
and dissed him on Sue Whoop. What do you say? Pink dude, blood with pink hair or some shit like that on Sue Whoop. So it's like,
well, he's not going to LA talking that shit, and he's not going to South Central talking that shit. He's not going to Compton talking that shit.
I bet he will.
It was all trolling. I bet you he won't.
I bet you he will. If you, I think Chief Keef's a lot. I think Chief Keef's a lot scarier to roll up on than YG is.
Chief Keef's not in Chicago.
Chicago cats are just harder than LA cats. Period.
Yeah.
Nobody was mad in Chicago that he dissed Chief Keef. They were mad that he said O Block was no block. Chief Keef doesn't come back to Chicago. That's a fact.
Chief Keef lives in Northbrook.
Chief cannot come. No, he doesn't. Chief Keef lives in LA.
Yeah, he does. But when he did live in Chicago, he was in the
Chief Keef can't come back into Illinois. That's 100% dead for him.
Yeah,
he's got child support beef and he's got street beef that he can't face in Illinois.
I don't doubt it.
Yeah, 6ix9ine is an interesting character, but he continues to make songs. He has Nicki Minaj saying Treyway on tracks.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, the dude is making big noise. I think he needs to tone it down. I think
he might die.
Almost to the point where like, it's to the point now where it's like, yo, you did what you need to do. You have 11 million Instagram followers. Every song you drop, you have your following now.
Yeah.
Like, chill out for a second, bro. Drop some music. Keep collabing with people you fuck with, and like, there's no need to be coming at. And it seems like he only picks the dudes that are like tough guys in the industry.
Right.
We don't know if they're really tough, but like YG's persona is I'm a blood from South Central.
Same
like,
thing with he went at game. Yeah.
But he's only going at like the dudes that are gonna need to defend their
Let me
persona.
tell you right now, the 2 scariest cliques I ever been around in the music industry ever is YG and Lupe Fiasco's clique.
Yeah, Lupe. Yeah, well, yeah.
Far and away.
Lupe got the smoke with
bro, you don't know about Lupe?
Oh
man. What do you say? Look who I attract. Yeah, a bunch of hood like Lupe's.
Lupe got the
Lupe's
boys
from out west. His boy Chili Chill was like one of the biggest dudes on the west side. That's why he's always talking about. His boy got 44 years.
I know he's from the west side. Those are his people, but I didn't know he was.
YG is a full-fledged gangster all the way. Everyone he rolls around with, everything. He actually has a white manager who is real straight edge. But like, I mean, I've been on private jets with the dude and like his whole clique and like.
These are not niggas you.
I'm not really trying to talk to anybody. I was talking to YG, that was it. But I didn't want to talk to anybody in his clique, not once.
I've heard that about Lupe. Obviously, yeah, YG gives out that persona. But I heard Lupe.
No, YG is that. YG is that. I
don't
promise
fuck with Lupe and his people. Like Lupe is on some other shit. Not him personally, but like, yeah, he's with them people.
Shout out Lupe, man. I wish he would come out with some more food and liquor type shit.
He didn't want to fuck with the industry no more, man.
He's
they fucked him up.
Yeah,
he's so over the situation.
He's so over the whole thing.
So over the situation.
Yeah, bro. Like, nah, he's not rocking with the whole social media shit.
He's probably got some bread. He's cool. He's like, I don't need this shit. I don't need the major label bullshit. I don't need people telling me what to do.
Yeah.
I'm not tap dancing for nobody out here. Like, let me skateboard and have this money and I'm fine.
All right. Before we jump over to the Bears, because I know we're going to talk about that for a minute.
We better.
Let's talk about this ghostwriting thing. And I thought it was really interesting the comment you made that all these people on the internet, when they hear Ghostwriter and you hear, I don't rock with so-and-so because they don't write their own shit. You said if you got around some industry cats, they would clown you out of the room.
100%.
Like that.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, an artist project is not a songwriter project. Okay, you want to look at Madonna, you want to look at Michael Jackson, you want to look at Kanye West, you want to look at DJ Khaled, you want to talk about Beyonce,
Justin Bieber, yeah.
You want to talk about Jay-Z, you want to talk about Justin Bieber, you want to talk about, not J. Cole, not Beck. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And the list kind of gets real low after that. So you're talking about out of the thousands of people who write platinum records, and you can narrow it down to a dozen that only write their own shit. You go to Beck's album, what he won a Grammy on in 2016 or whatever.
It just says Beck.
Didn't he play every instrument on that album?
Yeah,
he played like every single instrument on the shit. Yeah.
Right. Okay, you have an artist,
He's never going to lose that album of the year talk.
Nah, that was, yeah.
It's like, I did this album for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as an artist, your job is to create the best project, not to write the best project. All right, I locked myself in a room. I made this. No. In so much as people give you 10 verses or 10 melodies or whatever, and you go, I want that one on my album, I want that one on my album, and those 8 suck. And they send you 40 more, and you go, only that one works. The other 39 suck. Someone else sends you 100 more, and you go, all right, I want those 2, and this is all cohesive, and this is a project. Being an artist is just about expressing your taste onto the world, the listeners of the world. Kanye West is not making beats. Kanye West is getting sent 1,500 beats and picking out the best 30, making songs on the best 30, and then turning that into the best 8 songs.
He's producing some physically producing some beats though.
As I'm sure he is.
You know what I mean?
Not like he used to though, right?
Right, but no one's as an artist project. If someone goes,
I don't know
"Oh
if
man,
Kanye's the best," I get what you're saying. I don't know.
Yeah.
If
I've heard Kanye is like the ultimate example of that. That's what he's so good at, is picking out
like
the right
samples
shit.
and that type of shit.
No, but like even to the point where he's not really writing his shit, but he picks out the shit that sounds the best for him. He puts it all together. He brings everybody into the room, and that's kind of his talent. Is
the best
composer.
The best artists are the best executive producers. Period. You don't have to touch anything. Oh, Janet can sing her ass off. Jim could rap. Put them together. They're my favorite of the two. Okay, Jim, I'm going to take your lyrics, Jim. All right, Janet, Beyonce is going to sing your verse now. All right, cool. Rick Rubin sent me this loop, but I need whoever to write the drums on it. Okay, cool. I just took 8 different parts and I put them together, and I didn't write anything. I didn't touch a keyboard. I didn't touch an Ableton, and I just made, Touch the Sky or whatever.
Right. That's such an interesting way to think about it, because I didn't think about it until you said that. And we were actually having a conversation the other day, me, Quick, and Colin, and other people I was having a conversation with about Astroworld. And I'm like, can this be the rap album of the year if he has 150 fucking features on it? And now when I think about it in that way, he literally molded this Astroworld and brought this Astroworld to life. Yeah. And put together an amazing
It can't even be
album.
close to the album of the year. It has 2 hit songs on it, and one of them came out before.
You're nuts. You're nuts.
We'll see.
You're nuts. That's the album. That's easily a top 2 album of the year in hip hop. No doubt.
It wasn't even the best album that came out that day. YG's album was better.
No, it's not. Get out of here.
YG's album got 4 hits on it. To me, when you're at that level, just another thing. For me and for everyone in the music industry, when you get to that level, we don't give a fuck what your album sounds like, how many hits you got. Period. That's it.
Okay, but
no, that's not true. I don't agree with that.
All right.
You gotta have if you can
have good
run
music,
your shit front to back and it's strong as fuck. I think and his whole purpose on Astroworld was he like chopped, like one track has 3 different sounds on it. He's not.
It
like,
was cool.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like are you talking about like a radio smash? Is that what you mean?
I'm talking about it. I don't care if they play it on the radio or not. I'm talking about
a smash
500
period.
million
So-
Spotify
so-
streams.
so
Everybody
with-
listen to it over and over and over. I got to listen to the song.
Like an In My Feelings
every
type.
single
Yeah,
person.
like
I got to
Drake.
listen to this song 15 times in a row because it's the greatest song ever.
So-
we're talking about, you want to call album of the year? Okay, it's got to be the best music to me. Sorry. And if you don't have songs that are getting rinsed, like every single person who listens to it got to listen to that song 10 times. There's like 3 or 4 songs on the YG album that are like that, and there's only Stargazing and Butterfly Effect on Astroworld.
So by that logic,
What?
then and I
Sicko
don't.
Mode is crazy. Even that slow coffee bean on the outro is nuts.
I think
That
it's
album
cool.
is
The
fire.
Rest in Peace
You're
Crew is
nuts.
fire.
Yeah.
But so by that logic, then I don't like J. Cole, but you're basically saying that J. Cole's albums are all trash because he doesn't really write. Like his
No.
last album didn't have a whole bunch of radio hits on it.
Go look at the streams though. He has a million records with 500 million streams.
Because people fuck with J. Cole.
Yeah,
But it's not like you're going to hear this in the club. You're not going to, I mean.
J. Cole's gonna have more streams on KOD than Travis will have. Actually, I don't know about that.
That's not true.
Nah, Travis got
Man,
crazy.
That's not true at
That
all.
album is so hard.
Yeah.
Y'all, you're wilding with that.
YG's album was better.
I fuck with YG. YG's first album was one of the most
like
underrated
YG.
albums I've heard in a while.
I don't know if it was that. YG's album's not fucking with Astroworld.
Astroworld wasn't something that I'm gonna go listen to 10 times in a row. The NBA YoungBoy album is better than Astroworld. Sorry.
Yo, NBA YoungBoy's album is hard.
Youngboy's album is
So
fire.
is Gunner. We
Will
talk
put
about
me
all
onto
this
that.
other
NBA YoungBoy has like, I mean, all right.
smashes.
Yeah,
Dude.
we'll put me onto that NBA Youngboy. That shit is fire.
Shit's
That
so
the Lil
fire. I was
Baby
doing
album
it
is
here.
better than NBA YoungBoy.
I mean, here we go. No,
These
it's
are-
not.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, we can go down that.
It's okay,
crazy,
though.
crazy,
It's okay.
crazy road. But yeah, I thought that was. I wanted to talk about that because I thought that was interesting. That, like, dude, like you said, the biggest, most talented cat is the guy that doesn't touch everything but can put it all together.
Well, think about it this way, right? If you're talking when producers make a song, they're trying to recreate something that they're hearing in their ear, right? In their mind's ear, right? And if you don't have the technical skills to create what's in your mind's ear, you can't really put the song on paper, essentially on digital paper that you're trying to like express, right? Well, if that song's in your head, and then I grab my homie Sean on the keys, and I grab my homie Nick on the drums, and I grab Janet singing the hook or whatever, and then between those four talented people, myself included, and it becomes this amazing song that originated in my mind's ear that I used other talented people to create because I didn't write that song or produce that whole song. Should I be discredited even though that was the song that was in my brain?
No, it's a good point. I agree with you. Yeah, I mean, it's very, it takes talent to put some stuff together and be able to know when someone should be here and someone should be there. No doubt.
Right.
Let's jump over to the Bears.
Bears.
Runzel's a Chicago guy. That's why he's on the show in the first place. Let's talk about the Bears in general. Let's talk about excitement level because I think like you and Nick, we're all dumb excited and we haven't been this excited in a minute.
We're still going to go 8-8, but I'm excited, yeah.
8, wow.
See, he thinks we're going to win 4 games.
So again, we were talking.
Seven
today
games.
I was listening again. The over under for the Bears season is at 6.5. I'm gonna pound the under. And again, I'm not gonna root against the Bears. If they win more than 7 games for me, fine. That's great. I don't know where y'all are getting 8 wins from. I don't know what schedule
I
you
counted
looked
them out.
at.
Me and Sean actually counted them out.
Can we
about
do this
that
now?
Yeah,
I
let's
mean,
do
like
it.
we talked about this last time. We didn't have it up. Let's talk. I'll tell you the 12 losses I see. Maybe 6 and 10. I don't know where you guys think all this progress is going to come from.
First off,
You're putting a lot on
first of all,
Trubisky.
the Packers
having
aren't I'm going to put this on wax, and I've been saying this shit. The Packers are not going to be that good.
That's fine. They beat us every year.
The Packers are not going to be that good. Everyone like this whole 11-5 shit because A-Rod's back. A-Rod's the best quarterback.
What does that have to do with the Bears?
We just don't. We don't play them twice.
I don't know. We've
fucking
won
year.
one division game in the last 2 years. We're 1-7. We're 1-7.
What
I'm
does
sorry.
it have to do with the Bears? We play them twice a year. What are you talking about?
We've won one divisional game in the last 2 years.
What
So we're gonna beat them.
we have a shot to beat the Packers.
Get the
Yes,
fuck out
absolutely.
of here. You're
we
out of
do.
your mind.
And the line, if you free cheese,
You're out of your mind.
I'm gonna start doing a segment called free cheese. By the way, if you want to make some money, take the
Out of
take
your
the
mind,
points-
I don't
bro.
think we could beat the Packers.
Yeah.
Take
out
the
of your
points.
mind.
Take the points in Green Bay.
Where?
It's like 9 points. Week 1, they're gonna be whacked.
We're not
We're not
ready
talking
week
about the
one.
spread right now. We're talking
Sean,
about
we're not
wins
gonna
and
be ready
losses.
week 1.
Yeah,
Our
get out of
offense
here.
is too complex to
you're,
install.
You're sick.
We're going to take an L week 1 for sure.
You're
Pull
sick.
this up,
The only sure thing on the football field is Aaron Rodgers. That's what I'm going with.
dude. And if I would have asked you how many wins the Rams had last year, you would have said 4.
I would have
What about
said
the Eagles
1
last year? The
This is
Eagles
what
were
I'm-
supposed to
okay,
be
so-
trash.
But that is an outlier performance. The Jared Goff
And
transformation in 1 year doesn't happen all the
Why
time.
couldn't we have an outlier performance when our defense is going to be nails? We're going to be hitting boys in the mouth.
We'll be the 7th best defense.
Who's our
in the
outside
league.
linebacker?
What are you talking about, Roquan?
Who?
No, Roquan's inside.
But
No, he's outside.
he's
linebacker.
outside.
What?
And a
Roquan
43
Smith is an inside
He's not a middle
linebacker. He's
linebacker.
6'1",
He's an outside
230.
linebacker.
He's outside linebacker. He
bro.
plays outside
Roquan
linebacker.
Smith played inside at Georgia.
No, he played the
He's
outside- he was an outside
taking
linebacker.
Nick Kwiatkowski's job, who's an inside linebacker, and you're telling me he's going to be
Danny
out.
Trevathan's the
Danny
middle
Trevathan's
linebacker.
the-
Hey, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, you
It's
need to
a
chill.
three-
You need to chill.
It's
Too much. Hey,
All right.
dance music
Okay.
is
Hold
thumping your
on.
head out.
Look.
What Bears
Okay.
games you
Look.
watching
Let's
out
just.
there?
But before. All right. I don't even know I'm on this trash ass show. Sam
Right.
Acho is the starter, offensive linebacker. Okay.
Offensive
I mean, outside linebacker. Y'all got me all riled up. You got Lloyd on the other side, and then you have Kwiatkowski and Trevathan as your 4 linebackers. Okay, look it up on the Bears website right now. Roquan will be replacing Nick is his name.
If we're running
As
four,
inside
when
linebacker.
we run 4 backers, he'll be in there with Danny Trevathan.
Yeah, and then when we run a nickel, it'll be Akiem and Eddie Goldman down, and it'll still be 4.
So you're saying in a 43, he's our middle linebacker, so Trevathan doesn't play?
No, there is no 4-3. It's
yeah.
a 3-4 defense.
Yeah,
what are you
that's
talking
true.
about?
That's true. He's right there. Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Roquan will never play outside linebacker at all. Even in the nickel and dime packages, he's an inside linebacker.
He was an outside backer at Georgia, bro.
No, he was not. He called the plays. He
an
wasn't.
outside- He was
Okay.
an outside.
Can we
he was
just get a
drafted-
fact check?
He was.
Yeah,
pull
let's
him
get a
up, pull up
fact
Roquan
check.
Smith. What position does Roquan
Dude, why don't you
Smith
just
play?
search the depth chart for the Georgia Bulldogs in 2017? It will say ILB.
He's an outside linebacker, bro.
All right.
I mean,
I'll bet you Buffalo Joe's.
He's an outside linebacker.
That's
Cool.
That's a dumb bet.
Georgia Bulldogs.
You should call that one cheese on your cheese segment right there.
Roquan Smith. Either way. So we have no shot in beating Green Bay in Green Bay. 0. This is 0%. We're gonna go in there and lose by 25 points.
Yeah, we have 0 chance.
Nah.
0 chance. Not a chance.
I think
I
we'll
don't
lose
know
by
where-
5.
Look, I'm excited about the Bears too. I don't know where this like.
Oh, 247 got him on as an inside linebacker.
You're not going
ILB.
to find him as an outside linebacker anywhere on the
Georgia,
internet
he
ever.
was an outside backer.
No, he wasn't. He was too short.
All right, whatever. Either way, he's a monster.
Look it
and-
up. No, just search
No,
what
we're not
I
because
searched.
we're gonna be here.
You can edit this shit out, right?
No, we're not editing this shit.
Oh, all right. Well,
All right. Here we go.
Where's the
Packers are
schedule?
week
Yeah,
1.
Pull that back up.
Packers are week 1.
Loss.
Okay. I think we're gonna lose that game.
In
I
a
think it's-
primetime game, loss.
I think it's very close.
it's a L.
It's a major L.
Seahawks, we get
That's
at
a
home.
W.
We fuck around and
Seahawks are trash this year.
We fuck around and mash the Seahawks.
Yeah.
Loss.
That's a W. They're terrible this
0-2.
year.
You're nuts.
0-2.
All right. Yeah.
At
no.
Cardinals, that's a win.
0-3.
They're gonna be
At Cardinals.
They're shit.
Teams go over there and lose all the fucking time.
Nah,
Dude, they have a
2-1.
great
They're-
defense.
They're garbage.
Garbage.
Loss.
2-1.
They're garbage. We're 2-1.
0-3.
At home against the Bucks is a
That's
rout.
a win. That's our first win.
3-1.
Yo, at Dolphins, we fuck around be 5-1.
Oh, wow.
After 6 weeks. It's very possible, dog.
Wait how the rest of the season goes. Keep counting them out though.
At home against the Patriots is a loss.
That's a
I still
loss.
think that's a close game.
5-2.
Dude, this is let me explain. Let me give you some background on like why. I feel
Look,
like
I'm
this.
seeing 7 losses in a row next. So
raw.
let's go to. So then we beat the Jets and we're 5 or we're 6-2. Then we lose to the Bills.
6-2 through 8 games.
Wait, where are we losing? Where are we losing to the Bills ever? The Bills are so bad.
They were decent last year. Didn't they make the playoffs
the
last
playoffs
year?
last
Dude, they punted the rest of their players. They got rid of Tyrod.
Yo, shout out Tyrod on
They're
Hard Knocks.
resetting.
All right.
That's a loss too.
So what's that? 7-3.
What
now?
are we? You talk about these
Yeah.
teams being trash like we're not trash. How many games have we won over the last 3 years?
Our defense is gonna be. Hey, listen to me.
How many games have we won over the last 3 years?
It's a completely new team, bro. We
Yeah.
spent
9?
like $70 million in free agency.
Great.
Our new defense is gonna be ridiculous, and Nagy's gonna put. It's gonna be we're gonna be the baby Chiefs out there. We're going to be running.
Hopefully.
It's going to be a bunch of really easy shit for Trubisky to drop off. It's going to be a ton of gimmicky shit. We're going to move the rock. And Trubisky's going to be moving on his feet. He's going to be doing bootlegs.
Hey.
We're going to be a solid football team. I'm telling you.
Bears excitement cannot turn into all this Bears.
No, let's go through it.
over-optimism.
Finish it off. Go
Might
ahead.
as well finish it
I'll
off.
keep going. Patriots loss. Home against the Jets win. At Bills toss up. Home against the Lions loss.
L.
Home against the Vikings
L.
loss. At the Lions,
L.
loss. At the Giants,
Win.
loss.
No,
Why
the
can't-
Giants
why
are
We might
trash.
beat the Giants. Yeah, we might beat the Giants.
We beat the Giants.
What?
At home against the Rams.
Rams. We're losing the last 4 games of the year.
I don't know. Yeah. Who knows?
We're losing 5
Home
of our
against the Packers, loss.
We're losing 7 of our last 8
At the
games.
49ers. We know what happens
From
when we
week
go over
10 to
there.
week 17, we're only gonna beat the
We know what
Giants.
happens when we go to San Fran. We get spanked.
See, all
Jimmy
this fucking
Jimmy
shit
G
from
got a
3 years ago.
blowjob from a porn star, bro. He's gonna be lights out this year.
At Minnesota, lost.
Look.
I got 5 wins, fellas.
I will bet you anything you want. We win more than 5 games.
No, because if the
Take the
over
line.
at 6.5, I'm not gonna fucking give you an extra game and a half.
But that should tell you. That should tell you something. They got us at 6.5.
No, they got fucking super optimistic Bears fans who are in Vegas pounding that going
No,
with the over
these cats-
because they're reading all these preseason fluff pieces about how great the offense is gonna. Come on, man.
Tribune
I need to see
Tribune
it.
is not writing fluff
I
pieces.
need to see
Sometimes
it.
is,
I
but
need
the
to see
Tribune
it.
is not.
There's a lot of ifs. We have a big if with Trubisky. I'm excited for him. I think he's going to do well.
Then
but
look,
if you're
look.
telling me that you're expecting a Jared Goff type leap out of Trubisky, I will bet you against that 100 times out of 100 because it's just not
Why?
normal. Because it's just not normal.
Is Jared Goff a light years ahead of a better quarterback than
No,
Trubisky?
not necessarily.
So then why not?
Because it's not a regular thing to expect.
No, well, you know what happened in St. Louis? Is
That
a new regime came in, a new
In
offense
LA,
came in.
yeah.
Yeah, in LA.
They got
I'm
rid of
sorry.
Jeff Fisher.
Yeah, right. And we got rid of John Fox.
Yeah, 100%.
It's almost you know what? It's almost identical.
Yeah, and that was the article that was written in the did you read that article?
No, I
From
didn't
the
read
Ringer?
that
Yeah,
article.
That was the article. Are the Bears copying the LA model? Yes, we are. But I'm just saying you cannot expect the Rams went from the worst offense in the NFL to like the best in 1 year. That is not normal.
Facts.
It's not normal.
We're gonna get more than 5 wins.
So if you want to bet on it, I mean, you want to bet with the trends. The trends would say that's not going to happen.
This whole Lions at home loss, they're light years. I mean, you didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
The Lions are just going to come in and smash us at home.
100%.
Huh?
We're not going to beat that team at
That's
home.
bullshit. That's crazy. So we don't win a division game this year.
Maybe not.
Maybe not or no. Because
I'll give us one.
Because we don't.
The only one we would win is the Lions at home. That would
because
be
we're
it.
not beating Minnesota.
Yeah.
No.
I think we can beat Green Bay and we can beat Detroit.
The beat Green Bay talk is blasphemous almost at this point. It's ridiculous.
They have no corners. Their defense is
They
tough.
got some.
They have
They
Aaron
got some
fucking
corners
Rodgers.
now.
They got some
They
rookie
drafted
corners.
two-
They got some
yeah,
rookie
Josh
At the end
corners.
of the
Jackson's
day,
gonna be
pick the
good.
best player on the field. If that man happens to play quarterback, that's the team I'm rocking with in that game. I am sorry. You've seen Aaron Rodgers turn shit into fucking gold every single year.
And
That is
yo,
healthy.
though, as good as the Bears defense is, just like we were going through their 3-4, they have one edge rusher on the whole team.
Yeah.
Literally.
Leonard Floyd?
Sam Acho.
Oh, yeah, and Leonard
30-year-old
Floyd.
Sam Acho, who's our other starter. He's like a lifetime second stringer who used to play inside linebacker.
We got Akeem Hicks too.
Yeah, but he's not he's a pass rusher, but he's a 3-4 D end. He's a 300-pound guy whose first main focus is to stop the run, and then it's to
Leonard
to
Floyd.
rush the
Leonard
passer.
Floyd is the big X factor on defense. If he turns into a premier pass rusher,
All right,
we
but
got
if you-
something.
but the thing
you
is-
talk about whatever, dude. Rodgers. What doesn't Rodgers do? He does not turn the ball over. So he's not gonna make you. He's not gonna pay for mistakes because he does not make them. The Bears need a mistake. That guy's not going to give you.
If we get one, it's not going to happen this year. But we are one pass rusher away, plus Mitchell Trubisky developing from being a playoff team. That's it.
That's a perfect transition into what I heard. I was listening to Waddle and Sylvie yesterday. They were talking about the whole Roquan situation. We'll get your thoughts on that in a second before we get out of here. They were talking, would you give up Roquan and a 1 for Khalil Mack?
No.
Just because of the 1?
Yes.
Well,
I give him a 2.
Then you got to sign Khalil Mack to a massive ass deal.
That's the other thing.
Yeah.
I give him a 2. We have the 6th most cap space in the league right now. We're
Khalil
27
Mack
mil.
is
He's a
team
monster.
changer.
But not another number 1. Not in the again. It's
A
just
1
like
in the NFL is like Tom Brady.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like we talked about when the Trubisky trade happened. Remember, my whole thing is when you're not a good football team, you need depth, you need players. You can't necessarily make 2-for-1 type deals. You can't.
It doesn't matter. We're 1 year away anyway, so you don't make that trade. You go hope Kylie Fitz, who's looking very good right now, develops into a great outside linebacker. And just your whole like Roquan Smith is the outside. You realize he's 6'1", 230.
He was still on this. Roquan
he's
Smith
Lance
played.
Briggs.
He played outside. Yeah,
Lance Briggs was 50,
I don't
260.
care about how big he is. That boy is an animal.
Yeah, he's a beast.
Roquan is
Right,
a
but he was
beast.
also 6'1", and that's why he played 4'3". Look, to be an outside linebacker in the NFL, you have to be 6'4" and above and 250 above.
He played outside
That's
of Georgia. There's no discussion that he played outside of Georgia.
Talk to me about where you land in the situation on, is it Roquan's fault that he's not signed, or is it the Bears' fault?
It's always the player's fault because they can give it up. I mean, it's not like whose fault it is. They're at a stalemate, and I understand the stalemate. It's about
it's always someone's fault, though.
I would have thought that you'd be on the exact opposite of that, considering that you represent talent, right?
Look, the Bears are the Bears are the worst team in the NFL for this. Let me just tell you a little anecdote about the Chicago Bears. Last year, or maybe 2 years ago, the McCaskies were in court trying to set a precedent for the state of Illinois so that NFL players only got health insurance to the age of 40. Yeah. Okay? They get it through the age of 57 right now, like league-wide. Yeah. And there was some other precedent that was actually in a different industry that like lowered that age. And the McCaskies came in and were like, yo, we need that for football too. These guys who are dying, being broke, they're, having brain damage. McCaskies are going in there. No, we don't want to pay health insurance past 40 years old. Yeah, some guys end up, they're done in the league at 34, 35. Oh, you got a sport that destroys your body. We're going to give you 5 because we're cheap.
I mean, there's no secret the Bears are a shitty organization.
It's got to be the Bears.
Yeah. They've always been a shitty organization. I mean, this is nothing new.
But the thing is that the Bears the Bills with Tremaine Edmonds, I think, who has the same has the same agent as Roquan. They gave up the helmet and the suspension money and blah, blah, blah. But the Bears are saying, look, we have a precedent for this because when Trevathan got a 1-game suspension, we paid his ass. So we just don't want to ink this, but we'll pay you. Which I hear a lot of. It happens.
No, they're not saying that though. They're not saying
no.
Ink this and
if it's not in the contract, there's no wink deal. You do contracts for a living. Get the fuck out of here.
No,
that needs to be in writing, bro.
Yeah. Okay, but
hey, we'll pay you. Don't worry. Just let's keep out the contract.
But they paid Danny T. They paid him.
That's great. Yeah. That doesn't mean they're going to play Roquan S.
Yeah, I understand.
It wouldn't be that big of a point of contention then, but they just put it in the contract if their intention was to pay him.
I'm just saying I've signed a contract where someone says I can't put this in writing, but I got your back, and I trusted him.
Yeah, and have you seen what was the McDonald's movie? Is that the same thing he said to them in the McDonald's movie?
It's risky.
I can't put it in the contract, but I got you on your royalties, and the motherfuckers didn't make any money.
Yeah,
fuck that. If it's not in writing, it's not. You can't hold up in court.
Hey, I'll tell you right now, if I'm Roquan, I'm doing whatever I think is right, and fuck everybody else.
100%. I think he's doing that.
Yeah, because the NFL is the sport that destroys your body the most and pays you the least.
And your career's the shortest.
All these guys, Julio Jones, Von Miller, I need an extra $2 million on my contract this year. I'm on the player's side.
Every time.
Yeah, Julio just signed. He's like, no. Lance Briggs would always do that. I need a new contract.
Bro, I hope Aaron Donald.
I need a new contract. I always need a new contract.
I hope Aaron Donald sits out the whole season.
The whole year.
The whole year. Hope he sits out the whole year.
What's going to happen with Le'Veon?
He's gonna come and take
they keep
that.
franchising him. He's not gonna walk away from that $15 million.
He'll take that.
By the end of it, he could end up like Cousins, where he keeps doing these franchise deals and just making a fuck ton of money.
It's just he's a running back, so you just gotta.
It tops out at like 16,
running
17
back who's already lost the season to injury too.
Look what Kirk Cousins did. Kirk Cousins got like $70 million off the 3 franchise tag. Then picked up another 90 guaranteed.
Facts.
But yeah, I think Le'Veon's coming in. But the Aaron Donald situation is interesting in the fact that the longer he stays out, he loses that season of free agency, which is just going to delay it a lot more. Yeah. But like you said, he's got to dig in.
He'll be back.
He's got to dig in. They all come back.
Willie, thanks for coming through, bro.
Man, I had a blast.
Thank you so much. Of course, bro. The Bears are going to have a good ass year. Watch what I say. We're gonna talk about it all season, and you'll be chiming in too.
100%.
Go check out all the Prodigy artists, man. Willie Runs at Will Runzel on everywhere: Twitter, Instagram. Links in bio to check out all his artists. Make sure you check them out. Go listen to them. No Catch Up Chicago on Instagram, YouTube, everywhere. Check us out. For Nick the Quick, Will Runzel. I'm your host, Sean Little. No Catch Up Chicago, for Chicago, by Chicago. Listen up.